Donald Trump is launching is an assault on incumbency, those who are in power, by mobilizing a supremacism against the incumbency at home, and I think I've illustrated abroad as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather round, because today we're diving into a diplomatic drama that's juicier than a telenovela. Imagine this: Ebrahim Rasool, South Africa's ambassador to the United States, gets expelled from the U.S., declared persona non grata. Yes, you heard that right, kicked out. But what led to this unprecedented move? Buckle up, because we're about to unpack the twists and turns of this international incident.
Donald Trump is launching is an assault on incumbency, those who are in power, by mobilizing a supremacism against the incumbency at home, and I think I've illustrated abroad as well. So in terms of that, the supremacist assault on incumbency, we see it in the domestic politics of the USA, the MAGA movement, the Make America Great Again movement, as a response, not simply to a supremacist instinct, but to very clear data that shows great demographic shifts in the USA, in which the voting electorate in the USA is projected to become 48% white, and that the possibility of a majority of minorities is looming on the horizon. And so that needs to be factored in so that we understand some of the things that we think are instinctive, nativist, racist things. I think that there's data that, for example, would support that would go to this wall being built, the deportation movement, etc., etc. So I think I mentioned that. I think that there is also an export of the revolution. It's no accident that that Elon Musk has involved himself in UK politics and elevated a Nigel Farage and the reform movement in much the same way that it was instructive that on his way to the Munich Security Summit, Vice President Vance addressed the Alternative für Deutschland to strengthen them in their election campaign. And that then begins to say, what was the role then of Afrikaners in that whole makeup? And very clearly, it's to project white victimhood as a dog whistle, that there is a global protective movement that is beginning to envelop embattled white communities, or apparently embattled white communities. It may not be true, it may not make sense, but that is not the dog whistle that is being heard in a global white base. So I think we need to understand all of that.
Ebrahim Rasool isn't just any diplomat, he's a seasoned politician with a rich history. Before his ambassadorship, Rasool was deeply involved in South African politics, serving as the Premier of the Western Cape and holding various ministerial positions. His tenure as ambassador began in January 2025, marking his second stint in Washington, D.C. However, this time, his journey was cut short under dramatic circumstances. The sequence of events leading to Rasool's expulsion centers around a webinar where he didn't hold back his opinions. During this online discussion, Rasool critiqued former President Donald Trump, suggesting that Trump's actions were fueling nationalist movements and exacerbating racial tensions in the United States. He also touched upon the narrative of a threatened white identity being used for political mobilization. These comments, especially when highlighted by certain media outlets, didn't sit well with the U.S. administration. Enter Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, who didn't mince words. Citing Rasool's remarks as inflammatory and accusing him of harboring anti-American sentiments, Rubio declared Rasool persona non grata. This diplomatic term essentially means that Rasool was no longer welcome on U.S. soil and had to pack his bags pronto. Such a move is rare and signifies a serious diplomatic rift. Back in Pretoria, the South African government expressed regret over the expulsion. The presidency released a statement urging all stakeholders to maintain diplomatic decorum and emphasized South Africa's commitment to fostering a mutually beneficial relationship with the United States. However, beneath the surface, there was palpable tension, reflecting the complexities of international diplomacy. Rasool's expulsion didn't occur in a vacuum. It was the culmination of escalating tensions between the U.S. and South Africa. The Trump administration had previously criticized South Africa's land reform policies, labeling them as discriminatory against white farmers. Additionally, the U.S. had cut federal aid to South Africa, affecting programs aimed at combating HIV, AIDS and other humanitarian efforts. These actions strained relations, setting the stage for the diplomatic fallout. Media outlets played a significant role in amplifying the controversy. Breitbart News, known for its conservative stance, highlighted Rasool's webinar comments, framing them as evidence of his alleged anti-American bias. This coverage caught the attention of U.S. officials and fueled the narrative that led to his expulsion. The incident underscores the power of media in shaping diplomatic discourse and influencing policy decisions. The expulsion elicited mixed reactions from the public. Some viewed it as a justified response to a diplomat overstepping his bounds, while others saw it as an overreaction stifling free speech. In South Africa, many perceived it as an affront to national dignity, further complicating the public sentiment towards the United States. The incident became a talking point in both countries, reflecting deep-seated issues related to race, politics, and international relations. Declaring an ambassador persona non grata is a severe diplomatic measure that can have ripple effects. It signals a breakdown in communication and can lead to retaliatory actions. In this case, while South Africa expressed regret, it stopped short of expelling the U.S. ambassador, opting instead for a more measured response. However, the incident set a precarious precedent, highlighting the fragility of diplomatic relations in a polarized world. Rasool's expulsion raises critical questions about the balance between a diplomat's right to free speech and their obligation to maintain diplomatic decorum. While ambassadors are expected to represent their country's interests, they must navigate the complexities of their host nation's political landscape carefully. This incident serves as a cautionary tale for diplomats worldwide, emphasizing the need for tact and prudence in public engagements. The saga of Ebrahim Rasool's expulsion is a vivid reminder of the delicate tightrope that diplomats walk. It underscores how quickly international relations can sour and the profound impact of words in the realm of diplomacy. As global citizens, it's essential to recognize these nuances and strive for mutual understanding in an increasingly interconnected world. And there you have it, a deep dive into the expulsion of Ebrahim Rasool, a story that intertwines politics, diplomacy, and the ever-evolving dynamics of international relations. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that unpacks the complexities of our global society. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.